Little Hand says it's time to rock and roll.
Bring the noise.
You're listening to
Comics podcasting on the edge of civility.
Good. Is the fucking sound off on the worst remake of John Carter ever? God in heaven, the shit you forced me to do. And how am I supposed to even refuse you? It's your fucking house and your equipment.
All I'm saying is, thanks to you, instead of drinking myself to sleep once a week, I'm forced to talk about things and do homework and visit places and get out of the house and meet people. All things I don't enjoy.
What, you think I dig them anymore? I just want some attention every once in a while, so I made something that people would listen to.
And they don't listen!
No. It never happens. But somehow, we've gotten to episode 79.
Is this really 79?
This is. It's 79, baby.
79.
We're cracking right along. And just so everybody knows, Bill, Rev, pal, buddy of mine, you owe me $83.
Yay.
Which you can, do in easy installments.
Why do I owe you $83?
Because we are now official exhibitors at Comic-conn.
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 New York.
No, not New York.
Okay.
Stanford's.
Oh, Comic-conn.
Yes.
That's the August 27th thing.
That's correct.
I did ask for that off.
Everyone make sure that they mark their cameras so that you can throw rotten tomatoes at us at the con.
Mark their cameras.
I didn't say calendars.
No, you did not.
Mark your calendars!
Why do you have a rotten tomato on your camera? I don't know. The Tech Jedi's a douche. Yeah.
Oh, that doesn't look like Jabba the Hutt's sail barge or nothing. There are so many derivative things in this fucking... We got Jabba's sail barge.
Hey, be fair. This was
Thoris
first.
showed up wearing a slave Leia outfit.
This was first.
No, it wasn't. Antonio Sabato was not around before Jabba the fucking Hutt.
John Carter was.
Okay, yeah, but I don't think they were modeling... No.
But you're not positive suddenly.
I don't think Burroughs was modeling his sand skiffs after Jabba.
No, he wasn't, because Jabba wasn't around. Spielberg, Lucas, Spielberg, they all stole from Burroughs.
I don't know. Was it really described quite that way? Because that's a
I've
little
never
too
read it,
close.
so...
that is 95% copyright infringement right there. And I'm pretty sure...
But that 5% is Viva la Différence.
And I'm pretty sure that they got that Deja Thoris outfit straight out of cosplayheaven.com.
What? Is that real? Like I
Of
started
course it's
laughing.
real. Where do you think all the kids from fucking Kineticon next week are going to get their shit?
So I don't know if I'll be able to go to the convention that you have planned, the GobbleCon, because obviously that's a pretty busy work period for me.
Oh, yeah, okay.
But if I am able to attend for a day,
Yeah?
because that's the best I can do.
We're
is a
only
day.
doing a day
Okay,
anyway.
then I have a much better shot.
I ain't sticking around cosplayers for 3 days.
But
sorry, guys.
I had a totally brilliant plan. We're going to have our own Mean Geek comic contest.
Oh.
We'll each have 5 Pikachus we can hold up for a 1 to 10 Pikachu rating system.
Wow. All right.
I'm trying to speak their language. Maybe I'll buy some spiky hair.
You're not buying spiky hair.
I mean, not for me.
No, I'm not wearing spiky hair.
You already have it.
Well, at the moment, it's sweaty.
And soon it'll be spiky.
That's enough of that. So, how do you propose these rules are going to work? Who's going to present us with what that we got to figure out how many Pikachus are there?
I figure they'll be coming by. Or are we? Oh, if we're only going a day, so we are not doing a table at GobbleCon.
Right. We're
Okay.
just showing up and hanging out.
Well,
think.
in that case, it probably
Maybe.
wouldn't work as well.
We'll see.
But if we can find a space and they need the help from us in any way for the sad promotion ability that we do have, I'm happy to do that. But
Hey, we did get a slight boost in listenership. I did see bigger bandwidth tolls here. And I'm glad you guys came by and are commenting on Facebook. We appreciate that.
GobbleCon is still a horrible name.
Well, yeah, I'm not going to debate.
I haven't met them. You're friendly with them. I maintain my artistic and journalistic integrity.
Yeah.
I couldn't even say it with a straight face.
Because it doesn't exist.
No, I know this.
Matter of fact, we got an episode called Journalistic Integrity. What's that? When do you want to start talking about some books?
Dude, I don't even want to start. I just want to burn them and leave. There's so many books.
This pile was that bad this
No,
time?
it wasn't necessarily that bad. There's just 2004 of them.
Oh, well, yeah, there are. I mean, yeah, but we can do big swaths at a time, like all 4 of these Spider-Mans at once. So, we got Amazing 60, 61, 62, and 63. Alright. Big whoop on 60. Doesn't care. Is just hanging around the FF.
No, that was the awesome one. That was the end.
That was the good one?
That was the end of the pirate episode.
Yes.
With the Sinister Six. Zombie pirates.
You can't ask for a whole lot more than zombie pirates.
Yep.
I mean, that's just getting greedy.
Mysterio, Chameleon.
I was happy to see Mysterio running around. I think Mysterio is far underused. Chameleon, we just had a storyline with him, so he's okay.
But he was only like a side character in the Kravinoff thing.
No, Chameleon? Yeah, but he bagged the roommate, so everything's hunky-dory there. I mean, who doesn't want to bang a strident Latina chick who would just as soon kick you in the ass as anything else to it?
I'm sure there's somebody. I mean, I don't know them.
Yeah, there's got to be somebody with a kicking Latina fetish. So,
or a lack thereof. Why, no, I don't enjoy strident Latinas. There's possible title A.
I don't enjoy strident Latinas. That's a possibility. But now,
so that storyline ends up. Now, see, again, this is why I like Dan Slott's Spider-Man more than Hickman's Fantastic Four, because this is just more fun.
Yeah, it was great.
Although I will say the Hickman's Fantastic Four I read in here actually really intrigued me. But
for once.
Yeah, sadly. But I will say that he writes the Fantastic Four like I want them to be. Like they're just a loony bunch of really bright people who end up in ridiculously dumb adventures.
That doesn't sound like a bad thing to me.
No, that's what I like. Tiny things hitting each other.
That's the second time in 24 hours I've said that.
It's a Time Bandit reference, people. That's what we bring you here. Less than topical, timely events.
But Spidey then becoming a substitute teacher for the Initiative. Then not the Initiative. Avengers Academy.
No,
he really perked up when they offered him that. He's like, dude, hi, teacher.
I think that here's my take on this. First and off, this is exactly the last thing that you and I can mock.
What? What do you mean?
This issue.
Why?
Because this is what we've been craving: is a single issue storyline.
Oh yeah.
That's not strictly filled. I mean,
I'm
obviously,
I'm not mocking it at all. I'm joyously espousing it.
Yeah. I mean, I wasn't a huge fan of the, because I don't read Avengers Academy. So
because I don't read Avengers Academy.
Yeah, well, that I pretty much don't read anything if you don't read it. But it didn't allow me to kind of learn anything about the characters per se, other than like broad strokes for obvious reasons. So,
well, yeah, you only got 2 issues to deal with.
But they're
guests, so it's not built to be their vehicle.
They learn to confront their fear, and everybody loves Spider-Man after he thinks everybody hates him, and it was very classic. And it killed in between 2 storylines.
And we got to hang out with the fucking Psycho Man again.
Always a nice reference. Classic
How
villains.
long has it been since anybody talked about the Psycho Man? I enjoyed that.
See, this is why I wrote that article about Stiltman. Kids, it's available at your local. But this classic villain and the ability to bring out and use classic villains.
It's amazing. I can't believe they got away with producing a movie with Tracy Lords in a fucking slave Leia outfit.
Is that Tracy Lords?
It's Tracy fucking Lords, dude.
I did not know that.
It's because you didn't look at the credits when they were rolling.
I didn't really look at her. I mean, this movie's appalling. I can't believe you wanted to watch it.
You stop lying right now.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Stop lying.
Poor choice.
I hate you so much. Anti-venom, the new Carnage, this whatever it is, I can't remember this purple girl's name.
Oh, God. That one is actually...
Wraith.
Wraith, there you
And
go.
she's already dead.
Yeah. And she looks like a McFarlane character. You know, there's a lot going on in this. I will say that the whole Venom is hero, Brock versus Mr. Negative, I can't stand that. This is the classic Sabretooth. He's so cool as a villain, let's use him as a hero so that we can get more use out of him moment.
I got no need for that crap.
And, you know, Venom was so played out anyway, plus they've got Venom as a hero, growing legs for Super Troopers. So anti-venom as a hero is just one more. So didn't love
One
that
more
very
irritation.
much. So the big reveal too is that Carly didn't get a Green Goblin tattoo because she's not a total jackass.
No, she was just drunk and being stupid.
So she got a Spider-Man tattoo. Oh, irony of ironies!
And Peter got an instant Woody. Could not ask for more. Bobcat couldn't scratch it.
Spider love.
Spider wang, spider wang.
I can only assume that it does not do whatever a spider can.
I couldn't figure out a
I was a little disappointed. I was so hoping that was going to be the
Another
death
N-word,
of the
dude.
lame relationship that I cannot stand.
I would have hoped it was myself.
But instead, no, it's, haha, you've got a
It
tattoo of my alter
strengthens
ego. Let's do the hippity-bumpity.
Hippity-bumpity. Are you sure that wasn't the bone dance?
I've been calling it the hippity-bumpity.
The hippity-bompity. With an M? Bompity?
Bumpity.
Bumpity, bump.
B-U-M...
Bumpity, bumpity, bump,
P-P-I-T-Y.
bumpity, bump.
Bumpity.
I can spell, motherfucker.
No one can spell bumpity. I made that shit up a minute ago.
Yes, but with a general command of English, I'm pretty sure you can figure it out.
Did you know there were two P's? You did not. Why? Because I created bumpity.
You added the extra P afterward to screw with me.
That's true too, but my point stands. All right.
Nobody would have put two P's in
So
there.
here's my biggest issue with Spider, which I write down one of my favorite Marvel books. Really enjoying Dan Slott's Spider-Man. But how bad is Spider Isle?
Okay, I don't understand what in the fuck Spider Isle's all
Neither do
about.
I, but you know, The Road to Spider Isle is one of the worst building titles ever. It's
It
driving
is.
me nuts.
I don't even want to know. You know, I've come to the conclusion that I'm just going to let shit flow.
I'm just hoping it's an island filled with Spider-Mobiles. That's where they store them. So it'll be the return of the Spider-Mobile. So he'll be driving around, shooting a net out the top on top of people.
No.
No?
That's a terrible idea.
You know what? So, Spider Isle.
Speaking of terrible ideas, letting the fucking Red Hood loose again.
Ah, your personal favorite.
I don't like the idea of bringing somebody back who was so thoroughly killed, and then bringing back Scarlet from the pig storyline. And then,
Well, you knew the Red Hood would be back. Like, there was no doubt. I do think that so far, the Batman and Robin just seems to, it still hasn't developed. I mean, we're 2 years into this book now. This is Batman and Robin number 24.
2 years even. And they're still bringing in things like the menagerie. Oh, not the menagerie, the Zoo Crew. Which is really difficult to tell if Zoo Crew or Creature Commandos is worse.
Captain Carrot.
Captain Carrot at least is played strictly for laughs.
For children. You know,
Yes.
let's be honest. It's not even for it's for small kids. Pig Iron was designed to appeal to a 3-year-old. That's fine. I'm fine with that. Because everyone wants to captivate that all-important three-year-old dollar.
No, well, the $3 of the parents of the 3-year-old is what it is. Anyway, point being.
But, no, the, Creature Commando Menage Zoo Crew were not in any way a good thing.
And how irritated were you by the insert for Super 8 there?
You know, I was so frustrated by the 9th book that had the same fucking insert in it.
You think they'd make them separate so that you could, you know, force people to collect them? Not done yet.
But you know, like, I like the idea of these little inserts and whatnot to advertise things, but if you're buying any decent amount of books, you're reading the same thing like 15 times.
That's correct.
And they're doing it way too... There's an insert
And that's
in a
unacceptable.
lot of books these days. Plus, I will say the Super 8 one kind of threw me because I just thought it was an ad.
Uh-huh.
And then I flipped to the next page and I'm like, what the hell happened to the plot and the art and everything? I don't need that kind of... Like, a comic book should not make me feel stupid.
Unless you're reading Grant Morrison.
Or Alan Moore, Neil Gaiman. There's a couple of people I'm okay with making me feel stupid.
I never felt stupid reading Neil Gaiman. Ever. But I get a couple of panels into a fucking Morrison book, I'm like, I don't know what he's saying.
You've definitely felt dumb reading a couple of Alan Moores.
Oh, sure.
Swamp Thing. I will say, Mr. Punch with Neil Gaiman. I'm like, what the fuck?
I mean, that made you feel weird. I don't know if it was strictly dumb.
I felt that I knew I wasn't getting what I was supposed to be out of it. Like, I obviously did not do this math correctly.
It was that Dave McKean art that was fucking with you. Those strange pseudo photographs.
But no, Grant Morrison has definitely made me feel dumb. Particularly the Invisibles. I didn't have a fucking clue. Eddie Campbell has made me feel dumb.
Eddie Campbell's a strange cat.
Yeah, trying to read Bacchus. I'm like,
No, I gave up on Bacchus. That needed to go bye-bye. How much do you fucking love Avengers these days?
Now, which one is this the history of the Avengers as they're doing the little inserts?
Yes.
All right, so first off, before we get into the plot, let's just, because there's no real plot, per se.
Not really. It's like a dozen panels a page, and they're just yapping about the history there.
Let's talk about...
And Red Hulk, we find out, loves fucking eggs.
Let's talk about Chris Bachalo's art.
And doesn't fit in the kitchen.
At all. Because I love Chris Bachalo as an artist. I'm assuming I'm not pronouncing his name correctly.
Bacalo? I've heard it so many different ways.
But Death and the High Cost of Living, Starman for a while, Shade the Changing Man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just listing some of the stuff that he's done in the past. I'm a big fan. So I totally enjoyed the art styling. I love the little clip thing.
Clip thing.
Yeah, the tiny little panels, and each thing was just one person saying something, and slowly some of them built. There was a lot of Thor laughing and Tony snuggling with liquor and hot chicks in that order. It was very similar to what Bendis was doing when he revamped all the Avengers books with the little timeline oral history.
Yeah, that got tiresome. It really did.
I love that. Like, if they had done that as a book, I would have picked that up because it was.
Sure, in one shot. But you're like, wow, we're on part 28 now. Can we finish this up?
It was a little frustrating in that you had to make sure you read all of them in the right order,
right?
And
you had to get the right book, and I'm sure we were missing things in Academy and
quite possibly.
Initiative.
But also, of course, I have not read every single Avenger, so there'd be ones they're referring to that I wasn't fully behind. But I really found that very captivating, and so was this. And the build to Mockingbird at the end. So they go through all this little storyline, and at the end, suddenly we're talking about building Valhalla again, and Spider-Woman has a thing for Hawkeye?
That is kind of weird.
What?
And they're all acting like 13-year-olds.
Why does everybody... Wait, apparently there's something about a guy and his bow.
Because everyone loves a bad boy.
In purple.
Yeah, no, that so doesn't work. Purple is not a power color. I don't care how many people they keep putting on it. Them in?
Yeah. You don't need to hit me with your pheromones. I like you just the way you are.
Nudge, nudge, wink, wink, wang, wang. How's that for a title?
Wasn't his wife dying in another issue?
She was!
And now he's like, hey, Spider-Woman's got a nice ass. That just doesn't feel right to me.
And she went in there herself on record as, we're not married anymore. So,
which, isn't she still literally dying in another book? Like, haven't they not resolved that yet?
I think over in New Avengers, they are still working on her.
So
it's nuts.
I mean, I'm not like Captain Continuity or anything. Pending.
Copyright 2011, The Mean Geek.
I will say, however, if you're going to try and build a storyline where you have the fictional cartoon husband upset about the death of the fictional cartoon ex-wife.
The potential death at this point.
You probably shouldn't have him macking on a chick in a tight outfit in a different book at the same time.
It does throw into the question the whole time frame thing.
I don't mind suspension of disbelief, but out and out, fuck you if you're paying attention, just seems rude. To that other book now, because I'm like, come on, dude. Party's like, please go. Then I get all the money from the family account, and I can bang Spider-Woman. Like, yeah.
Terrible. Oh, what'd you think of the Invincible Iron Man branded Fear itself? Brazil, New York, Kunlun Mountain Range, Paris, France, and the Grey Gargoyle everywhere. Everywhere!
I was, the acute listeners of this podcast, which equals none, will remember I was so excited when the Grey Gargoyle made an appearance in Thor. Why, what'd I say?
Acute. Which could mean sharp, which would still follow, but...
Yes, but astute would work better, so I'll give you that one. I was not wrong, I was just not fully correct. But, getting back, I was excited for the Thor .5 issue that featured the Grey Gargoyle, because I think that dude's phenomenal. Like, that's what I want in a supervillain. I have a tiny mustache, I'm French, and I turn people to stone so I can rob their pockets.
Oh.
I've created living statues that I may then mug. And then this takes the Grey Gargoyle and turns him into like this horrifying, like, I don't know what happened.
They give his ass a hammer and he just goes to town. Man, he looks like A-Bomb at the end of this thing.
And there's broken people everywhere.
I hate having to say A-Bomb.
The frat boy
abomination. Terrible.
But no, so
and he kicks the shit out of Tony.
Yeah, so I have no clue what's happening. Totally excited. But now, not too long ago, I was talking about how excited I was, how Fear itself wasn't giving anything away, like I didn't really understand it yet. Mm-hmm. Starting to not feel that way anymore.
Well, because they're finally developing things and they are explaining things.
But they're not really explaining all too much.
Not a whole hell of a lot. It's developing enough where you can follow at this point, but as to what you're following, that's still up in the air. Wait, you need to back that shit up. What did you see last night?
I saw a film called Jesus Christ Vampire Hunter. It was on Netflix On Demand, so the title made me laugh.
Right.
I will say, it was not good. Like, there's no way you could describe it as good because it is not. But there were occasionally little witty things. It was very, like, punk rockish and over the top, and Christine really hated it. But it did make her laugh a couple of times, and the highlight is when Jesus goes out to a restaurant and has lunch. Now, at this point, by the way, Jesus has gotten 2 earrings, shaved his head, and shaved off his beard so that he looks like whoever the actor is instead of Jesus, which took a lot away from the whole Jesus aspect.
Mommy?
Yeah. Although the part where he was skateboarding as Jesus was kind of amusing.
Was he in his robes?
At first, yes, and he fought some vampires, and they blessed the lake so they could throw them in it. Yeah, see, every now and then they do something that made you out and out laugh out loud. But so he goes to this restaurant, he's having dinner, and the girl takes the plate away. He's like, I'll bring you your dessert. He's like, I don't think I ordered dessert. And she brings him a bowl of cherries and ice cream that begins to talk to him because God is talking to him through the ice cream with little cherry eyes.
That's horrifyingly strange.
Oh, dude, Christine literally gasped, sucked in air, which is a gasp, but this was different, and laughed, and covered her mouth in shock all in once.
So not watching that.
I'm still getting it for you for Christmas.
God damn it, stop doing things like that. I don't want your kitschy crap.
When have I ever gotten you a Christmas present you didn't want?
Well, if you get that one, it'll be a first, second, third, fourth.
Other than the Ewok Adventures movies and the Droids cartoon.
Which I had a devil of a time not throwing away when I went through my DVDs the other week.
The first funny part that we both laughed out loud, this woman was about to get in her car and the vampire and this chick vampire, which they were all targeting lesbians for some reason.
Yeah, there's a lot of dead lesbians in the movie.
So she rips her head back by her neck, and the woman is like against the car, and her face is like.
It's horrifying.
Wow,
the same team made a spy movie called Harry Knuckles.
Harry Knuckles.
Harry. Yeah.
Yes, I figured as much. Man Thing?
I haven't watched that one yet. Oh, yes. Okay.
Fearsome Foursome?
All right.
Fearsome 4? Come on. This has got 3 of your favorite 4 things on the planet.
Dude, I was reading this, and I'm like, did he buy this just because it's got Howard the Duck on it, and this is going in my collection, or did he get this because he wanted to read it?
Well, it does have She-Hulk as well.
This is true.
You know, anytime She-Hulk's hanging around. But no, I haven't read a Man Thing story in a long time, aside from that Slash Fiction the other week, but... Oh, shit.
Ruh-roh!
And, you know, there hasn't been a Howard the Duck story for a while, except for that really crappy one a few months ago.
Yeah.
And that's just, you know, leave that one alone.
Yep.
We kind of erased that one. So I figured this would be a good place to go. Why not? Except for Nighthawk, everything's hunky-dory.
Yeah, you had to be thrilled, and you're like, oh, hey, I'm buying this, and it's got Nighthawk on the cover.
Yeah, that part I wasn't thrilled with. I'm like, okay, we get some Howard, we get some cynicalism going in there, we got some good art, so, you know, there's She-Hulk looking all right in there.
We had some Quack Fu action.
We had some Quack Fu action, and then Nighthawk shows up.
The Mystic of the Mallard Arts, or whatever the hell he used to call himself.
And then the art just went fluey. It was nice and clean for a long time, and then plonk, it turned to shit.
This
really.
did not do anything for me as a comic.
And then 3 pages later, it goes back to what it was, nice and clean and clear. I don't get it.
I don't think that the tiny little heroic foursome here bonded well at all. It was slightly off personalities altogether.
Birds of a feather.
Yeah, it was. They can flock off, quite honestly.
And then they changed art styles yet again, and I thought I was looking at a fucking independent from 1992. I'm like, you know, if this is going to be the artiste untypical, I can't deal with it.
But, you know, here's another Fear itself that, you know, other than Man Thing, there wasn't any real Fear connection or plot development per se.
No, Zippo.
So while I'm excited that Fear itself is subtle, I would like them to kind of steamroll the whole something's actually happening part.
What about the little backup that is totally incongruent with Sharon Carter and Margaret Carter and Commander Stevie?
Yeah. I actually like that more, but...
Well, no, I dug it myself, but it's just... It didn't seem like it belonged in that book.
You know, yeah,
at
honestly,
all.
I could never develop an honest rhythm to this book, so...
Yeah, there should be plenty of attraction to it, and it's just blah, wonk wonk.
For you Howard the Duck completists out there, and Nighthawk complete...
Somehow I think it's going to be the Nighthawk completists that are most disappointed. Or not. I don't know.
All
Nighthawk
2 of them.
sucks. Both of him? What? There's
Bob
one
and
guy
Bob
out
Jr.
there buys 2 copies at a time because he's a schizophrenic.
Well, you know, he hasn't had to buy a comic in a long time.
Oh, the one concession to Flashpoint that I'm going to bother with.
And that was Batman Night of Vengeance?
Yes. And I was convinced that this, if any of the Flashpoints were going to be good, it would be this one, because it's Bats, it's Pengy, it's Azzarello, and it's Rizzo.
I was pretty excited
So
when I saw
there
a creative
are,
team.
you know, 4 big things going for it all at the same time, and it turns out that it's just Thomas Wayne being a douche.
I had a lot of problems with it. Like, now, this is the second time, to my knowledge, Azzarello and Rizzo have worked on Batman. The first was the 6-issue Lonely City.
Right.
Which
Broken
City. Thank you. Which I was a huge fan of, and you were iffy and then came around to liking quite a bit, if I recall.
Yes, that's correct.
And I think the main reason you were iffy is that it wasn't Hush, since it had come out just after that.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
But no, so I mean, the last time you wrote Batman, I thought was quite a try. I totally enjoyed that storyline. And so this one, I'm opening, and I'm like, now to be fair, because you're not reading it, I don't know anything about Flashpoint. Maybe they all open with weird alternate reality crap.
They are.
Ugh. Awesome. But Thomas Wayne Casinos, you've got... Yeah, my notes are Wayne Casino, alternate reality, question mark, Flashpoint, question mark, and WTF.
Well, at least they threw Killer Croc... What the fuck is wrong with my English today? At least they threw Killer Croc in there. Even though it was for all of 2 pages, and he got the shit kicked out of him, and there was another origin flashback, and blah, 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 and oh, look, Croc is dead.
This, however, brings me back to Broken City and the need for Azrael to write a regular Batman book, because he has an interesting take on the psychology in the Batman.
He does. He needs to get on there, and he needs to stay on there for a good 4 or 5 years.
I think he could have a phenomenal Batman run.
Absolutely right. I'm right with you on that. Right with you. FF, Future Foundation.
We have 3 and 4,
You're
right?
starting to come along here, right?
Yeah,
Yes,
so
3 and 4.
Here we have the cavalcade of Reed Richards, as alternative reality Reed Richards has broken after the clandestine meeting of
The
all
Council of
worlds
Reeds.
Richards. God damn,
That is a dumb name. I'm sorry, kids, but the Council of Reeds is a stupid fucking name.
I wonder if that's like a plethora of horses or not horses.
A murder of crows.
Yes,
a
one of those dumb.
geese,
I mean, if I
a
saw a bunch
Council of Reeds.
if I were to look out back and see like an entire festival of reeds and refer to it with some overly literate douchebag, be like, no, actually, it's called a Council of Reeds. At which point it would
Don't
become,
you know?
Suddenly be the cleverest title ever. I'm fairly certain that it's not, and which makes it dumb. But yes, the Cavalcade of Reeds, as I'm now referring to it. Get their overly bright brain beat bad. Yay, alliteration. And end up hiding out in this lonely little world where they run into no less than Reed Richards' daughter.
Again.
Who frees them all, and then it's like, that seems like a bad plan. How can I kill them? And how do they do this? Let's recruit a bunch of people who've been trying to figure out how to kill my dad for years.
Yeah, and where did that... Let's bring in the Wizard. Let's bring in Dr. fucking Doom.
Dude, I was so excited. Like, every villain they brought out, like Doom, alright, fine, that was from the get-go. We knew that was happening. But then they're like, El Diablo. I'm like, oh my god, it's El Diablo. The Mad Thing. Oh my god, it's the Mad Thing. Like, what wacky supervillain will come in next?
And it happened to be...
The Wizard.
Annihilus.
Annihilus. And, Annihilus, it was like a bitter pill in comparison.
You don't really have a lot of fun when Annihilus is around. The Annihilus stories tend to be overly heavy and overly dramatic, and the universe is at stake.
Yeah.
You don't really get that with El Diablo. Diablo is just like,
I created a
if I get
potion
enough
and
people high, I can steal all their dough.
if I turn you into a giant human wart, thanks to the powers of alchemy, I'll be able to take all the gold in the bank. Which is why I love seeing that, dude. Like, that's what I want. People being turned into giant human warts.
So you're reverting more and more and more to the Silver Age all the time. Aren't you?
It's horrifying, but obviously I like great writing and great art. But yeah, like, you write El Diablo well, you're a writer I want to read. So suddenly Hickman, and a lot of the convolution of what's been happening in the past few books kind of finally gets
starting
cleared
to
up.
get together.
And now I'm a little more excited. Reed Richards is still a humorless douche who should be pantsed on a regular basis. There's your second alternate title.
Pantsed on a regular basis.
But you know what? I'm
that's
starting to be a
awesome.
little more on board with the whole Hickman thing. And the high evolutionary. Like,
Why did he have to be there? I don't know why he had to be there. I'm not following that part.
it also introduces a very interesting concept that even Richard recognized about himself. Is that you take away the family, you take away the friends, I'm a scary, frightening dude.
Yeah, because he can change the goddamn universe in about 3 seconds, but he won't cure cancer.
Yep.
What kind of cockbag is that?
And then you have all the little Richards going to different worlds trying to figure shit out. And
All the
that's a little terrifying.
All the little Richards?
Yep.
All the little dicks?
I didn't say Hawkeye was involved.
Oh! Oh. So we're beginning to approve of.
Well, how do you feel?
Future Found. Oh no, it's like you said. It's finally coming together, and I'm getting a better feel for the groove of it, and I am starting to dig it now.
Like, I'm serious. You think about the first 2 issues, like, why is Reed Richards letting his daughter hang out with his worst supervillain?
Well, so they can have a plot line in 3 issues, you know. Somebody's got to stop the Council of Reeds, and that's what they need all those guys for. So, it's all good.
Cavalcade of Reeds.
No more Sigil. I'm tired of it. I hated it.
Do you even want to talk about it?
I just talked about it.
Okay, alright. It had pirates. That was my plus column.
And that was it. There were no other pluses. The minuses are too numerous to get into.
You know what?
I'm tired of watching young heroes develop themselves and discover their powers. And, oh my God, is that what I'm really about? Long periods of self-questioning.
Magic talkie box?
Magic talkie boxes. Whatever the hell they
to
are.
give you an idea, because you actually totally trumped me, which is a little annoying, but read my the last line of my notes.
Which is, oh yeah, there it is. Hi, I'm the Rev. I do not care. Oh. But then we go straight over to Vertigo Land.
Unwritten?
With
or American
more
Vampire?
of the phenomenal Unwritten. Where the auction that wasn't really an auction happened.
I love that. Like, let's sell the dude. You can't. All right, we can't. But let's sell his entire blood work and history. Wait a minute. We didn't agree to this.
Oh, well.
We're obviously insane supervillains. We're selling people's blood.
And then, you know, Mother Teresa's doppelganger saves them all.
Yes, the evil puppet master woman.
Who was just beating up Lizzie just 6 issues ago. And I'm still up in the air about what that was about. Was she trying to? She wasn't trying to get information out of her. She was trying to make her come to some.
I believe she was trying to get
toughening realization of herself.
I believe that I believe she was looking for information, but was also using it for valuable and painful puppet life lessons.
Wow.
And that Tim finally casts his spell, and it's revealed he might not be human, although he was born of vulva.
Wait, where? What part of that was?
He fires off a spell.
Yeah, I got the spell part.
And then they intimate in this issue that he's not human, although his own father, he was promised he was born of a woman.
Oh, of a woman. I swear to God, you said.
I said vulva.
Oh, yeah, okay.
It was funnier
and
that way.
I was like, what the hell kind of was that in the book?
No. Nope. But apparently his dad was blaspheming slightly in terms of his promises. So, although Tim does have some sort of tenuous Vagoo connection, it's not actually proven that he's a human being.
I think he was born fully formed from the forehead of his father, like
the mighty Athena. Of course, the next question based on this, now they have his dad's journals and they have to read all of them. Imagine having to read all of your dad's 400 diaries.
No. Not my dad's diaries.
No, even if it's not your...
I enjoyed a tasty cake today.
Yeah.
John Carter is on.
Yep. That woman had a phenomenal ass. Oh, come on! Let me tell you something about my wife.
If he thought that was private, he would, right? If he never, ever, ever thought anyone on the planet would ever read it, my dad would be like, and the titties were phenomenal.
Yeah, no, God. I don't even want to envision my father's journal. And then my wife did something. Like, I'd literally be ripping my own eyes out.
No, I don't know if he'd document acts. Okay.
Who knows? Like, if you can maintain a journal for 40-odd books...
You would have to start looking for things to fill it with, so to speak.
Not even that, but like it's like a diuretic at that point. Everything's going to come out. Jesu Maria. So I feel very bad for Tim over the next couple
Jesu Maria. But, as ever, it's awesome.
Yeah, top book.
The big thumbs up. We have... Are these actual books? Oh, no, Ghost
one
War.
is, one is not.
One's
one is a mini-series.
Survival of the Fittest is a mini.
Yeah, well, 5 issue.
And I was happy with that one. And Ghost War You see, are
It's
these
the next
supposed to
issue.
cross over somewhere?
No, the Ghost War is... They're both in World War II. One is in the Pacific, which is the regular series.
Yeah.
And then the other involves the agents trying to find a cure for vampirism in Nazism.
Right.
And doesn't that sound healthy?
Well, Nazi vampires, they can't be wrong.
I will say, though, as intrigued as I am by both books, I don't know that I would fire out two in the same series, World War II Nazi books.
Yeah, that does seem to be cutting it a bit close, creatively speaking.
You know,
And while they are incredibly well done, I'm not going to take that away from the boy. I wonder what's happening to his detective if he can output this kind of stuff. I'm very curious about why Detective started so strong for those 2 issues of his run and then went to Dookie, and yet I cannot get enough American Vampire.
American Vampire is an excellent book. In the regular book, issue 13, you've got the whole Pacific. There's an infestation, so they get the husband of the other American vampire to go over with his wacky team of Guns of the Navarone there. And they also remind us that gold is the wood that kills American vampires.
Which is damn strange.
Hey, you know, if you
But
think...
it's different. It's different enough. It's just exactly different enough
Think of
where
it
I
this
can
way.
go with it.
If wood was the first defining characteristic in Europe for control,
Oh no, I
then the
totally
defining
follow it.
characteristic in America
Oh yeah.
would probably be beaver pelts, but that'd be ridiculous.
You can't kill a vampire with beaver pelts. You'd have to shove it down their throat and let them suffocate.
Imagine
or
having
something.
oh my god, the vampire, Avengers the movie. Grab that beaver! So I think gold was a much more logical.
No, it fit just fine. It really
As for
did.
Survival of the Fittest, I mean, you've got Book's daughter from the regular series, who's a half vampire secret agent,
Right.
super ninja,
Super Ninja.
and then her conflicted partner, who they might have a romantic inclination, but also has a vampire rabbit-eating offspring caged up in the basement. We'll find a cure. Meantime, eat your bunny.
Meanwhile, okay, that sounded dirty. Meanwhile, eat
Well,
your-
like grab your beaver wasn't
eat
a.
your bunny. That was more explicit. This Eat Your Bunny was more like, I don't know if he really wanted to say it like that. And then it's out to some straight up crime, right?
Who are the Mystery Men #1? Which is a really intriguing idea that Marvel's doing, where they're going backwards with the miniseries to create their own Golden Age line.
Sure. And from this #1, like David Liss, who I have no idea who that is, Patrick Zurcher, who I'm visually impressed by.
I love the art. I like the story. I mean, you know, it was a lot of introduction at this point. You meet the first two, the Revenant and the Operative.
Which are not bad names.
Yeah, it had a good pulp feel.
Yep.
Like very much a Your Dad book.
Absolutely.
It gets a recoction.
Unlike this John Carter adaptation,
Which is totally Your Dad.
which was done in somebody's fucking boiler room. The local high school that's out for the summer.
Admittedly, this is not in any way good. But,
I can't wrap my head around the fact that she's wandering around in a goddamn slave Leia outfit.
I can't wrap my
trying
head
to
around
be
that.
Deja
It's Tracy
Thoris.
Lords. I mean, there's a lot that's not good in this.
Wow. Ugh. And then we went for like a quadruple shot of fucking Wade. Quintuple shot of Wade. 2 issues of Incorruptible, and because Jackass Cabo was never listening, that fucknut skipped me on 3 issues of Irredeemable. So now we're catching up with 24, 25, and 26.
Alright, so there was a hole in between.
There was a huge one.
Okay.
What the fuck happened in these books?
Well, the hole in Incorruptible definitely answers some questions I was having. Like, in Irredeemable definitely. It was a big pacing problem for me, but the fact that I hadn't read a bunch of it definitely helped clear that up. Because I was like, what's going on? Last thing I knew, you were lying on the ground in a coma. Now Cubit and Modius are having some sort of love triangle to find you while taking out teleporting aliens.
shaped like giant semi-worm creatures that are just absolutely disgusting.
The supervillains are totally terrified of friggin' Survivor, which is a good fucking plan.
Well, he is the last hero, although he's not really... You know, I'm worried about that guy. He is definitely the next person that's going to be irredeemable.
Well, at the same time, his brother, who's dead but is still guarding Kaidan, even though they used to do the hippity-bumpity.
Bumpity.
Yep. That's what I said.
No, you skipped the M this time.
Stop. Bah! With your pronunciation problem. Bah, I say.
Ugh. And then there's a reverse Dante's fucking journey out of the prison hell and into the light.
Yeah, with this wacky little building of the Dirty Dozen of super space villains, including the random dude who's... one theme in this book, and it's getting kind of ridiculous, is that everybody who meets the Plutonian, despite the fact that he's fucking insane and ridiculously powered... keeps going, I'll talk to him, and then he'll do what I want, and I'll control him. And they all end up with their genitals up their own ass. Think about it. The supervillains tried it in, like, the very first storyline.
Right.
They're like, hey, here's a button you can press that would destroy me. Oh, cool. Why am I blowing up? The heroes tried it, the villains tried it, the demon thing tried it. Like, everybody thinks that Plutonian, you can just be like, hey, you know why you've had all these problems? No one's talked to you enough. Please stop burning the face off that baby and let's have a conversation. So then he teams up with a giant slug moth thing, a Red Hulk replica with 8 mouths in its back that are all yelling at it.
And a strange cheetah She-Hulk dreadlock thing.
That when she cuts herself, you bleed.
That's a bit of a fucked up power right there. I'm gonna keep slaughtering myself because it's not hurting me. I just want to feel weird. But then, what's his face? Finally get to the aliens.
Cubit and Modius?
Yes, them two. Finally get to the aliens and say, where's the Plutonian?
I did like the fact that...
Why do they want him? Leave him there.
I did like the fact that Cubit was able to use the fact that it was his teleportation to fuck with them in a royal way.
That was amusing.
No, so there's some solid things still. For a while there I was starting to worry about the book, and it's a classic jailbreak. You're building up the guys that you're going to screw over while you're breaking out.
Yep.
Like, I'm back to enjoying this book. Incorruptible, on the other hand...
It's taken quite the downward turn here. The little speed demon midget guy is irritating me, and the developing relationship between Patel and 3 or 4 different people at the same time.
Some rough supervillain names: Tumult, Charlie Hustle, Safe Word, Tiger Beetle.
Yeah. So Safe Word, really, Mark? Are you feeling okay?
Tiger Beetle.
Well, you do have to run out eventually. There's only so many copyrights.
You know what? Tiger Beetle.
Oh my god, this is the worst choreography on the planet. They couldn't even try to look like they were bouncy, bouncy, bouncy. They couldn't even try to make it look like they were actually sword fighting. Come on, fence, you bitches.
So then Max Damage has to deal with the giant rich douchebag who will protect the world if he can find a single honest man. So he goes to the guy whose son he murdered.
That was kind of...
It's intriguing. Give it credit. But at the same time, you've got Alana figuring things out, so the supervillains are after her. This terrible supervillain hanging out in a stadium playing football with a dude's head.
Yeah, not happy with that shit.
It's not a subtle book.
Alright, so we're ending this one on all independents. We're going... Wow, we got a frightening amount of things that aren't Marvel or DC now that we've gone through all the Marvel and DC.
Yeah, it was a weird couple of weeks that you brought me.
Well, I went down the Sarges instead of relying on dipshit. So...
Wow, no bitterness there.
Well, he doesn't listen, so who cares? Hint, hint, nudge, nudge, wink, wink.
Why? Why don't you listen, people?
You big fuck. Anyway, so... Bendis and Malev's Scarlet 5. Malev.
Let's just look at this from a really big standpoint.
Yeah.
There's a giant, unlicensed group of people together to celebrate Scarlet for standing up to the police.
Right.
The police are in force to make sure it doesn't become a riot.
Right.
One of them becomes frustrated and lobs
A
a live
goddamn grenade
into the center of the pre-riot. This is the worst police force ever.
They are absolutely no discipline. Oh, they don't appreciate us. I'll fucking kill them. Oh, isn't that kind of the point of why they're getting mad at you?
Like, first off, why do they have grenades?
Yeah, well, since when do Metropolitan Police Forces have fucking grenades?
Like, I don't even know. I can't even fathom how bad a cop you have to be. Like, that chick sucks. I'm going to chuck a grenade at her.
Yeah.
It's like, Bob, that's what you have a nightstick and a gun for, douchehead.
You know, targeted, one at a time, appropriate force, you know, that kind of shit.
And now she's lying in a bed somewhere, realizing that her life is over, with Rosie the Riveter poster, so I'm assuming there's at least one lesbian that's captured her.
Oh, no. That's terrible. It's the one with the megaphone, though, right?
Rosie the Riveter?
No, the one that rescued her.
Ah. But you know what? I think you're going to see, my theory, and it's just based on 2 posters, is some girl empowerment going on. You know, I like that there are interesting things happening in this book, but, like, let's not make the police
That douchey.
Like, come on.
There's got to be one, you know, there's got to be a few decent ones in there.
I mean, honestly...
Even Gotham's police force isn't that bad.
Taggart in the cast of fucking Police Academy had more on the ball than these people.
Taggart was Beverly Hills Cop.
Oh, dang. Well, what was the name of the bad cop they were always fussing with?
Oh, I don't remember. I haven't seen that shit in forever.
Taggart was Beverly Hills Cop, though. You're absolutely right.
I love it when you talk dirty. Get your mad ass in this pool with me. And a phrase I use to this day. Ooh, look at the titties. Look, we got beer, titties. How the fuck you steal a house? This is my uncle's house.
Oh, you ain't gonna fall for the banana in the tailpipe.
You ought to say it more natural, man. It should flow for you. We ain't gonna fall for the banana in the tailpipe. It's more... Anyway.
Classic.
So, I thought I'd go... I absolutely adored this cover. So, I figured I'd get it. It's an image book. I have no idea who any of the creators are.
I believe it's European stuff.
But when you got booze, guns, and half-naked chicks all on the same cover, that spells winner to me.
And was it?
I liked it.
Did you?
It was good crime as a start.
I don't know. We've got.
It wasn't awesome crime.
We've
It's
got some
no criminal.
wacky private detective that doesn't do anything.
Yeah, but it's fun.
We've got a gay Steven Seagal blowing his bodyguard in the shower,
which amuses me to no end.
You filthy
because
bastard.
it's supposed to be it's a whole comedy of opposites, you know. And who hasn't thought that Steven Seagal is hard to blow?
Wait, what?
All Steven Seagal movies have 3 words in it, so you can stay Steven Seagal is
hard to blow?
I don't know.
You thought about
I was in a
blowing
rush.
Steven Seagal?
I was in a rush.
You know what? Normally you take your time thinking about blowing Steven Seagal?
No.
You weird bastard.
You suck. I hate
Apparently
you so,
not Steven
I
Seagal.
hate you so much. Only because you haven't met him.
Nah.
If the rent was due... Anyway, no, it was fine. I dug it.
Okay. I mean, I thought it was your basic classic European style where the art is a little bit looser.
Yeah.
And you know the story was like there's a bigger respect for the brain of the reader in that the story isn't like laid out for you like some crime.
Right.
So there's a lot that's left unclear in the first issue, but all right, fair enough.
And Roy Devine looks like 90% of the comic book dealers I've seen at every convention on the planet. He really does. And I'm fine with that, really. Although...
they need a hero they can relate to, too.
Although, you know, the Rachel inside the book does not look like the Rachel on the cover. On the cover, she looks like this sultry redhead who's just gonna do evil things to you. And on the inside, she's a goddamn zombie. So that kind of, I was like, what? This went from dynamic, loose art to...
Well, the world of the cover art and the world of the inside, as Brian Boland has taught us many times.
Even in the first, 32 pages of it, up till they finally show Rachel walking out of the back of the bar. Because then she's got these, like, Tim Burton Corpse Bride legs going on, all disproportioned, and I don't know what the colorist was doing. Maybe he was trying to imitate, like, the sodium lights in the alley, but she's got a pallor there that just says, I've been drained of all blood. I've been fucking exsanguinated.
And speaking of drained of blood, what's the last comic in our pile?
Jennifer Blood. Do you still hate it?
No, what I realized is if I looked at it as like a Marvel Knights Punisher, Garth Ennis. I mean, there's a little more story build up here. It's not pure over the top. Now she's a Russian chick looking for revenge on her family who murdered her father.
Well, that does give her something now instead of.
Well, it's a little better than just I'm a random vigilante who does insanely violent things.
As a housewife on the side.
Right. And then of course, there's
who drugs her children.
And the flirty neighbor who, I mean, there's a lot. There's no subtlety.
That was quite clever how she thought so fast and got herself out of that, though.
Well, I almost would have preferred she threw him out the damn window, but the making
I
fun
was
of this little pink mouse was kind of amusing.
That was a conversation, and I laughed my ass off when I was reading that.
And of course, this also opens two other holes to me. One, of course, was that there was the woman neighbor who totally read correctly what she was talking about with Little Pink Mouse.
Yep.
The friend she could have. And the world's dullest husband, who's married to this psychotic Russian chick. Well, is he actually the world's dullest husband, or does he eventually reveal to be some sort of psychotic?
That's a very good question. And I'm really hoping he doesn't go out and be some psychotic. Because we've mentioned it, and we're 3 issues in, and now we expect it. So
I don't expect anything from this book at this point, other than somebody else is going to die in a way that's horrifying.
That's Garth Ennis, and that's what we pay for. We pay for Garth Ennis to show us imaginative and puke-inducing ways of fucking dying.
So we had the Titanic drowning under an inch away from the top of the water, and the car entrail crucifixion thing.
That was truly disgusting. I did not enjoy that part at all.
Well, we've torn through an entire giant ass pile.
And had time for digression, and
we are the champions.
Had a really good night at it, and it's right bang the fuck on time, too. It's 57 minutes in, and that, kids, was episode 79.
Bless you, fuckers.
Talk to you soon. Have a great night. Come by Facebook, or don't. It doesn't matter.
Rev out, bitches!
Good night.
I just said up yours, baby.
The Mean Geek is recorded live at the Reverend Mad Duck's apartment whenever the hell we can get to it. You can find us on iTunes, Podcast Alley, Facebook, Comic Space, our own site, www.themeangeek.com. Subscribe to us through RSS, and most importantly, find us as a proud member on the Comics Podcast Network. Contact us directly through email at themeanergeek@gmail.com.